Hey guys, I'm here to talk about one of the most anticipated movies of the year, Prometheus. Now, I've been following this movie since day one. I've been so excited ever since I heard Ridley Scott was going to do a new Alien movie. And I was like, yes, that's perfect. That's exactly what the series needs. But then this article came out that it was, oh, it's not an Alien movie, it's Prometheus. And I'm like, huh. Well, it would be great to see a new Alien movie, but I'll probably see this one. I guess I'll wait for the trailer. The trailer came out, and I'm like, let's see what he did there. So I knew it was not only going to be an Alien movie, it was going to be a good movie in general. It just looked so scary and so awesome and just like a pure good movie. Which are pretty rare these days. Literally the only movie coming out this year that looked like it was just telling a good story. The only non-Christopher Nolan movie coming out this year that was telling a good story, I like to add. As good as The Avengers is, I can't count it because it's technically made to cash in on the success of the other movies, so I don't know. Avengers is amazing, don't get me wrong, it's just I don't know if I can count it as a movie that I don't know if they had a good movie in mind. I don't know what I'm saying. It just didn't look on outward appearances to be that good until I saw it. But then Ridley Scott kept saying, oh, you know, it's got the bone, it's got the DNA of an alien movie, but it's really its own thing. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Scott, whatever. But I never really believed that. I always said to myself, yeah, this is going to be a first class, just like the first Alien movie. But it is kind of its own thing. I will have to say that. I think the problem this movie had was that the expectations for this movie were just so ludicrously high. It was unrealistically high, is probably the better word for it. It's not like the Avengers, in which they built it up and built it up and built it up, and they had in mind from the beginning they had the expectations of their viewers in mind from the beginning. So they went all out. I don't think Ridley Scott and everyone who was involved with this movie knew how big the expectations were for this movie. And the marketing was a little deceiving, because they made it look like, oh, it's just like the first. The trailer was just like the first. The screaming noise and the slowly forming title, which they do in the movie, by the way. But, I think expectations of the viewers are probably going to make or break this movie. Because I was very excited for this movie. I was up all night the night before I saw it. I was so excited to see it. And I saw it, and I was just so expecting an Alien movie, but that kind of goes, it's kind of like when I saw The Cabin in the Woods. Because, like, when I saw The Cabin in the Woods, the problems that movie had, and there are problems with that movie, but don't get me wrong, but they didn't hit me until it was too late, until like 20 minutes after I saw the movie. Because like as you watch it, you're just having so much fun, you're getting so much wrapped into it, but then like as you walk out, you're like, hey, what about that scene? Or that didn't make any sense, or what about that? That's what Prometheus is. Like, if the problems with the movie won't hit you till it's too late. I suppose it's a good thing. I suppose it's a really good thing, but here's what I liked about the movie. Visually, it was stunning, and it's probably on par with Avatar as probably one of the most realistic looking science fiction future. Although everyone's having this issue, and even I'm on their side. If it takes place like 100 years before Alien, this is no secret by the way, if it's a prequel to Alien, how come the technology in Prometheus is so much better than it is in Alien? That drove me nuts, but this all looked great, and it looked almost as realistic as Avatar. I think Ridley Scott probably saw Avatar. I was like, ooh, I don't know if we can top this. Well, we'll try. The characters were great. There were a lot of one or two red shirts, but for the most part, I did like some of the characters. I knew Mira Pace. I've never seen a movie with her in it up until this movie. I didn't see Sherlock Holmes 2. As I said, I've never seen the Swedish Girl with the Giant Tattoo movies. This is my first time I saw her in a movie. And I was like, wow, she's good. I like Michael Fassbender. He's one of those actors you could give him the phone book and he'll put his all into it. And yeah, he was great. It's no secret he plays a robot, and of course no one's gonna trust him. And when they watch this movie, Ridley Scott's made us all xenophobes. or robophobes, however you say it. And like some of the characters were great. I think every Alien movie has a really great cast of characters. Even the bad ones have good characters. The only Alien movie I thought had no memorable cast members was Alien 3. That's my opinion, by the way. Actually, I think Alien 3 just had nothing memorable about it at all. I couldn't remember anything about that movie. It just felt like an Alien movie just because. And all the other Alien movies had something stand out about it. The first two speak for themselves. Alien Resurrection had that cool underwater scene and the climbing up the ladder scene. I'm counting AVP. AVP had a really good shape-shifting pyramid, which was really cool, and some really good kills in that movie. AVPR had the hybrid, and that's all that's good about that movie. That like someone on YouTube should like make a compilation of just her scenes, and then say this is watch this, and you can say you've seen AVPR. This movie had visually it was good. It has this really cool. I can't tell you what it is without spoiling too much. But there's a really cool the Metapod scene halfway through the movie. That's all I really can say. When she goes into the Metapod, that's it, and that's all I'll tell you about. And everyone says it's on par with people have been saying it's on par with the chest burster scene from the first movie. I don't think so, because the Metapod scene is disturbing and frightening. Don't get me wrong. I think it could have gone farther. I think one of the problems I have with this movie is that there's a lot of build up to this movie. It does really great build up. Ridley Scott always does great build up. But it's just, I didn't think there was enough to pay it off. Like, the scary set pieces were scary, but it felt they either didn't go to good use, or they were over too quickly. Like, there's one scene when they first go into the room with all the vases and the big giant face. You've seen it on the poster. When they first go into that room, they really build it up, and it's all slow, and they build it, and there's this creepy music. And I was always assuming, something really, really scary is going to happen here, and it never did. But there is another scene. They go into that room, back into that room later, and some scary stuff does happen there. But, and everyone's saying, there's so many unanswered questions in this movie. It's from a Lost writer. I never watched Lost, but I just know. People have told me, there's a lot of unanswered questions by the series end. But, there are a lot of unanswered questions in this movie, but they don't distract. It's not like you will immediately be asking questions as you watch the movie. It's like they won't, like I said, with the cabin in the woods, it won't hit you until it's too late. So, but, that said, there are a lot of questions you could ask about this movie. But it's kind of reminded me of Cloverfield in that, since horror movies are told from the perspective of your characters, and 9 times out of 10, characters in horror movies don't get all the answers to what's after them. Then the answers aren't what's important. It's the characters and how what happens to them that's important. That's why I respect Cloverfield so much, because it was literally from their perspective, and the answers weren't what was important. It was whether they survived, whether or not they survived, which is what was important. Prometheus, it does focus a lot on some of these questions, but since the characters don't get the answers in the end. So, with that in mind, I think that's why some people don't like Cloverfield. If you had issues with unanswered questions in Cloverfield, you're probably gonna have a lot more in Prometheus. Final score, 7 out of 10 for this movie. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It has issues. It's probably not as good as the first, but it stands out. You will be glad you've seen it. And it's just the issues it had, they don't totally distract. Like I said, they won't hit you until it's too late, which I suppose is a good job of a movie. But, if you want to see it. You will you like it or you don't, but like I said, expectations, they're either going to be too high, or I think this movie probably will disappoint a lot of people. It didn't necessarily disappoint me, which just probably didn't give me what it was promised, or was promising, or what the advertising was promising, I should say. So, all in all, I think Prometheus is a worthwhile spending of your money. And now that G.I. Joe's out of the way, I'll definitely look forward to the Summers of Dark Knight Rises. So, Frenzy227 out.